having access to the whole of your extra keys and padlocks to some other places, especially from the source code perspective. Although most of these relationship, there was a lot of noise around these keys. Normally, these are special keys between for banks to communicate, and yes, all of these things have to be like revalidated and recreated and destroyed. All these ones by now, we believe that the bank will have destroyed them, even though if I thought some of them are still in use because imagine somebody have access to your source code even after they've gone, you still be it's just like somebody can enter your room behind your back. So there's this feeling in your head like, is it still around? Is it still there? Can it still see what we are doing? So that secondary feeling is still very important that we have to kind of control. So this kind of stuff, I also recommend that for most of if you have S3 bucket, we need to find a way to be encrypting some of the files we are keeping there. We've had an assessment before and at the time where, in fact, the files we found on the S3 bucket, the leadership of the organization don't know those files are there. They were shocked. Imagine you had emails that have been backed up from years back and you kept them in your S3 and you did not encrypt them. And when we are doing the assessment, we figure out the emails, we load them, and we can read some past conversations about the organization. So these are possibilities, these are potentials that could happen. So we encourage encryptions of files at rest and not just files that are moving from one point to the other. So I know in most cases, people say that thing that okay, our data is at rest. Yeah, maybe in the production environment you're applying those principles, but what happens to your backup? What happens to your back? How do you treat your backup? Do you have a retention policy and all of that? Because these things are beyond, they are governance structures that maybe you put in place when auditor comes, you just say, oh, we have done it. You show them a document. This is a retention policy. There is more to having those things. If you don't practice them, it's like they are not going to help you when it is time. So these things now, we need to understand that when we say, where's your retention policy? We are asking because we want to know. If these data are not meant to be, stored for like 5 years, why are you keeping them for 5 years? If you have to keep them for 5 years, how are you treating them? Are they encrypted? Who has access to this key? Because let's say, for example, this guy accesses this S3 bucket and everything is encrypted. He will be battling with how to even decrypt them. And at the end of the day, if he couldn't get his lock, he will just come out and say he accessed the S3 bucket. But at the end of the day, if you are sure you have the policies of encryptions in place, you can come out and officially put up a statement that all of the file that was accessed is encrypted. So it's useless to the attacker. Then you are good to go. Business continue. But if you don't have a proof, you don't have anything, at the end of the day, you may not even know what will happen. And these are some of the things. So it's a wake-up call, like Asanad has said, for all of us in the ecosystem. This is not a joke. This is not something that we should laugh about. This is something that we should pick the lessons and we should find a way to band together to work this out. So Mukhtar, I don't know if you have